Còn cái tiền em lại chuyển qua cho anh hả? Ủa mà anh có hóa đơn đỏ được không? Ý là không, ý em
Materials,
là
right?
cái người cái đơn vị mà có hóa đơn đỏ là ai?
Only 3 people will pay money for materials.
Bên nào là bên số
Okay,
hóa đơn đỏ
so
sẽ là người trả
not
tiền.
everybody like you will not buy raw materials, right?
Dạ.
Right?
Dạ, và em vẫn
Only Snowy buys raw materials.
Dạ.
I buy raw materials.
Em vẫn bán
And
tiền rồi.
when Snowy buys raw materials, she will pay either through petty cash. This is Snowy, right?
Yeah.
We can pay through our Shinhan bank account. This is Philip, right? Because I approved the thing. Then we can pay also by claims. Claims by me, claims by Mr. Low, in case he buys. Correct?
Yeah.
So all expenses tend to be from these 4 categories. Right? So all the materials, so when you are actually collecting all the materials, this is something you already understand. That's why you say it didn't add up. Because when you added up Snowy's expense, when you looked at February and you say Snowy's amount is this amount, you find the document.
This is ER, right?
Yeah. Who is ER?
ER is pay report, right?
What's
Spend report.
expense report? Yeah, it's under ER. Okay, claims. Claims is expense report. He uses all these terms. Okay, so this from the two of us we put claims. From her, she tends to put petty cash. Sometimes she also got ER. Right? Because sometimes she pay for us. She pay first. Okay, so down here maybe also down here also claims by Snowy. ER. So what you do is under materials you collect all this for the month and then you put in here, right? Same thing, we have things like rental. Rental is only from who pays rental? Who pays? Where does she?
Maybe
Mr. Hoy, Miss Susan, pay rental.
Okay, so we put down here as we have the people who bill us will be food people. Okay, let's say. Okay. Then you got electricity. Electricity also them, right? Water and electricity also
Yes.
them, right?
yeah.
And what else do they pay?
Management fee.
Management fee.
Communication.
Communications. There's Wi-Fi, yeah? This is all from FPs. So none, you will see that Philip Khoo, Mr. Low, Snowy doesn't pay for this. Only FP. Right? One more example. Salary. Should be from PK. Okay. In fact, she will raise the PV.
Yeah.
Right? Pass to me, then I will do it. So what you do is you capture all this information, right? And you put it into a cash book.
Yeah.
Correct? So the cash book will show you all your expenses and more importantly where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You got it so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you got all your expenses for that month, right? Then when you post it up to the P&L, you just plug materials, rental, everything, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, further down the line, there is a little bit more difficult thing that we haven't shown you yet. Okay, but this is something I got to go back to Singapore, then after that to Malaysia and sort it out. But I need you to understand. You need to understand how the business works here. Food developer makes the product, sells to food people. Food people sells to CCS. But CCS pays them two ways. One is the cost of goods. They have a cost of goods different from our cost of goods. They sell to them. Let's say we sell from here. We sell to let's say our production cost, right? Our COGS here is, let's say, 1 million. So, but food people will say that the COGS here is 2 million. Okay? Now, CCS then sells to the customer
Yeah.
4 million. Okay? 4 million. So these people have already paid us, first part of the payment is there, 2 million. So we sell to them at 2 million, right? Because it's the cost.
Yeah.
So they already supposed to give us 2 million. So 4 million minus 2 million is 2 million.
Yeah.
2 million divided by 2, because we share with them, we share with CCS 50-50. So when the revenue comes in, 50%, which is 1 million, because 4 minus 2 is 2, and 1 million comes to what do you call FP? Okay, 1 million. Now, FP then shares 2 plus 1, 3 million with FD. So FD gets 1.5 million, FD gets 1.5 million. That's how our business works. Are you clear?
Mr. Mina.
I can do again. It took me 3 times before I understood.
Yeah.
You mean explain one more time?
One more time to understand.
Okay. Don't worry, no worry.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand?
I haven't heard yet. Now you listen.
Okay. They're altogether these parties: food developer. Food developer, we sell the food to food people. Food people sells to
Customer.
CCS,
Okay.
our partner, and the partner ultimately sells to the customer. Correct? Now, obviously, there must be a backflow of money. This is the front flow of products. There must be a backflow of money. So let's say we sell to, not sell to food people. Our cost of goods to make one puff or one product is 1 million. 1 million. So we tell food people. In fact, this is important because then we have to divide the thing. We tell food people it costs us 1 million. So food developer sells to food people. Food people sells to partner, but they are paid in 2 parts: part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is they pay a base cost, the cost of production. This is, let's say, cost of product, cost price of product. So let's not confuse COGS. Let's say cost price of product, but they don't say 1 million, they say 2 million.
Yeah.
This other part is called a profit share, which is 50% of the profit. So CCS sells food. So CCS now sells to the customer for 4 million. So now, if they make 4 million, we are supposed to split 4 million and 2 million, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 million minus the 2 million, which is cost, we are supposed to split the profit. So we have to remove the cost. So this is 4 million now is only minus 2 million, right?
Yeah.
Equals 2 million. So 2 million is the net profit so far. So 2 million goes to CCS. 1 million goes to CCS.
1 million to food people.
1 million goes to food people.
Hiểu chưa?
So now, food people, how much money do they have? They have 1 million plus 2 million, because they sell this to them at 2 million. So equals 3 million.
3 million.
Now it's also going to get confusing because our actual cost is 1 million. So this is what we'll do. 3 million minus 1 million. So they have to pay us two parts, A, B. A is they pay us 1 million for cost of goods. 3 million minus 1 million equals 2 million. So
Okay.
now the second part here divide by 2. 1 million
For us,
for us and 1 million
for food people.
for food people. Correct?
Thì em không có hiểu lắm cái đoạn này. Profit share là cái gì?
Ok. Giải thích cho hiểu nha.
Profit share là cái gì?
Profit là lợi nhuận.
Lợi nhuận share là cái gì? Ý là tại sao cái
Lợi
này lại
nhuận
có
chia
thêm?
ra. Tại vì á, cái customer của mình ở đây như chị nói mấy bữa nay với em á, là cái mối quan hệ này là mối quan hệ đối tác. Thì đây nha, cái lộn CCS này nè, với Food People là mối quan hệ đối tác chị nha. Thì á, customer này là cái người mà ăn cuối cùng, thì họ không có liên quan đến cái vàng như phía sau này hết. Họ trả 4 triệu, tức nghĩa là xong, đúng không? Thì á, 4 triệu là xong rồi. Thì bên này nè, mình sẽ lợi nhuận là 2 triệu. Tại vì mình cái giá
Mình
bán
cho
ra
bên FD.
bên CCS này nè là họ mua vào là 2 triệu, họ bán ra 4 triệu, đúng chưa? Thì như vậy là cái 2 triệu này là cái tiền mà vốn của họ đi, chứ coi như là vốn của CCS đây là 2 triệu. Thì như vậy họ lời 2 triệu, họ lời 2 triệu, nhưng mà bởi vì họ là quan hệ đối tác với Food People nên họ phải chia đôi lợi nhuận của Food People, tức nghĩa là khi họ lời 2 triệu họ phải chia cho bên đây 1 triệu và họ lấy về 1 triệu. Ok chưa? Hiểu không? Rồi cái khúc này hiểu hết
Có
chưa?
nghĩa là cả cái lợi nhuận này mình bán cho người ta, mình còn lấy cái lợi nhuận của người ta một nửa nữa.
Đúng
Thực
rồi.
tế có cái phần đó.
Đúng rồi.
Chứ không phải là
Tại
kiểu
vì
có-
nhưng mà cái giá này mình bán cho người ta rất là rẻ, mình chỉ bán như là giá cost thôi. Giá cost của mình là 1, xong bên đây mình double lên. Tại vì thức ăn đồ uống thì người ta sẽ phải gấp tới 4-5 lần rồi.
Rồi.
Đó, hiểu chưa? Hiểu cái vòng đó.
Cái vòng này tiếp.
Rồi cái vòng này tiếp.
Mình là
Tiếp rồi bây giờ nha. Bây giờ khi mà bên đây Food People họ có 2 triệu tiền bán hàng, 1 triệu tiền lợi nhuận xe từ bên này, là họ có tổng cộng 3 triệu. Đúng chưa? Họ có tổng cộng 3 triệu rồi. Họ mua của bên mình là mất 1 triệu đồng. Thì coi như là bây giờ lợi nhuận của họ là 2 triệu.
Mình 2 triệu họ
Họ chịu hết bên này. Rồi 2 triệu bây giờ họ lại phải chia ngược cho mình, bởi vì mình là đối tác với họ. Thì họ chuyên nghiệp cho mình 1 triệu, họ 1 triệu. Như vậy cuối cùng mình được 2 triệu. Đúng không? Tại vì mình bán cho họ 1 triệu. Đó.
Giờ em
Rồi
mới
họ
biết cái
cũng
vòng
được
này.
2 triệu luôn. Mình 2 triệu, họ 2 triệu. Ok ha. Rồi cái người này nè là được bao nhiêu quên mất rồi.
50.
Người này được 5 là được 2 triệu tiền mua này không tính. Người này như vậy người này họ sẽ được 1 triệu.
Người này được 1 triệu. Đây là được 1 triệu. Kèm thêm 1 triệu chia ra là cũng là 2. Bên này là mình lời từ việc bán cái này 2 triệu là 1 triệu cộng thêm một lời đó nữa.
Ok.
Okay.
I got it.
Why this is important for you to understand is this is very easy,
Yeah.
but it actually gets very complicated very soon. Okay? Now, here is where the complication ends in. Remember this amount food people have is 1 million plus 2 million, right? Right? Plus there's already 1 million here. So this is actually cost. What we're going to do is we're going to throw our 1 million with this 3 million. So now 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4 million. But from 4 million, we are going to incorporate the expenses from FP, right? 4 million. Then we're going to put in. No, this is not FP. This is the net. This is the profit share. Profit share. This is the profit we haven't shared yet. Is the 4 million. Now, from FP, we are going to put material costs, depreciation of big equipment, not small equipment, amortization equipment. From food developer.
Yeah.
From food people, they're going to put in marketing.
Depreciation.
I think also the cost of depreciation of
Yeah.
equipment,
Yeah.
and I think delivery guy also, right?
Yeah.
Delivery guy. Okay, so let's hypothetically say that our cost of goods was already 1 million plus depreciation, let's say is 1.5 million. Less 1.5 million.
Yep.
And these guys, let's say when they put in everything is also less 1.5 million.
Yes.
That leaves us 1 million. This 1 million, 500k
Yes.
and 500k.
500k. Ok.
Simple?
Dạ, số này số minh họa thôi đúng không?
Now, still the difficult part haven't come yet. Not to scare you, but this is the reality. Mr. Low and I are still working out the system, how not to confuse you, so you won't pull your hair. Okay. The problem is when you do for each company, when you do a P&L, you have revenue, less expenses.
Yeah.
Inside your expenses also include depreciation, also include cost of goods sold. But that's going to be a problem, right? How do we capture that money? 1.5 million or 1 million. We can't put 1 million here because we have already taken out all the costs, correct?
Yeah.
So the question now is, when we reflect it in our books, it must be, we know the profit was 1 million, right?
Yeah.
We know that cost of goods sold is 1 million, right?
Yeah.
And we know that depreciation is 1.5 million, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Because we are recharging here again. Right? So we got to add that amount to this. So now our revenue is not 1 million. Our revenue is 1 million plus 1 million COGS plus because you're minusing here. Because we minus here already. Because we took out from here already.
Yeah.
Right? So it has to be 1 million plus 1 million plus 1.5 for depreciation, which works out to 3.5. The 3.5 revenue minus depreciation was 1.5.
Yeah.
COGS was 1.
1.
So your net profit is 3.5 minus 2.5, 1 million.
Plus 1 million.
I'm sorry, this one is not, this is a profit share, it should be 500k. It's 0.5 million, so 3.0 million,
Yeah.
right? So it becomes 0.5 million. So everything will be correct. You get it?
Cộng 2 là cộng gì chị?
I think Snowy is lost. So I'm going to repeat again.
No. Hỏi em là cộng 2 cái này thôi là cái gì thôi?
Cộng 2 này hả?
Hai cái này là cái
So
gì?
what emerged 1 million and 1.5 million?
Cost of goods. Cost of goods.
But
1.5
you
million
plus
depreciation.
and then you minus.
Yes, you know why? Because we have already, this is the computation. Because we have to compute what is the profit share. Am I right? We have to compute what is the profit share. Only when we know what is the profit share, then we can compute what is the money to be transferred over here. The money is supposed to be transferred over here is the profit share plus depreciation, which you have took out already, plus cost of goods sold, which you have taken out already, to get the accurate number, correct?
Yeah.
If you don't take out these numbers, then you are going to be in serious problem, because then you will have to say 0.5, if that's your revenue, minus 1.5 for depreciation, and minus 1 million. You will be behind by 2 million.
Yeah.
Not accurate. The tax office will come and catch you and throw me into jail. Okay, think about this for a few minutes. It's not that easy to understand. It looks easy because I'm explaining to you step by step, but not easy to put the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Từ tháng 9 tới giờ rồi. Dạ, thì bây giờ em cũng đăng ký bảo hiểm xã hội á. Thì Dạ. Dạ. Dạ đúng rồi. Nhưng mà thí dụ như bây giờ ví dụ mà mình làm như
So we will bill. So we will bill.
cái hợp đồng lao động á, tại vì
We will
lao
bill
động ta tự tính tiếp.
FD
Dạ.
3 million,
Yeah.
so that they can send us $3 million to put into our account.
Dạ.
Correct?
Okay.
Dạ. Có bị chi thu không ạ? Làm khai thuế hả? Dạ, bên em có một chị làm VAT nhưng mà không có lương nhân viên vô. Dạ, rồi ok. Vậy là mình cứ làm bình thường không vấn đề gì hết hả chị ha? Rồi ok. Dạ, vậy có gì em trình bày em báo lại đối sách em là có gì.
Can you write for me the meaning of this?
Okay.
Yeah.
P&L, huh?
Yeah.
So you got revenue. Okay, our revenue source is from FD, payment from FD, FP, correct?
Yeah.
So we need to know how much this is. Okay, there's a breakdown. Okay, then there's an expenses here. Of course, there are other expenses, but we are only looking at two expenses. One of them is cost of goods sold. The other one is depreciation, equipment, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what happens, stop me whenever you're not clear. We did the calculation here that the profit, the net profit share is actually 500k. So profit share equals 500,000. Right? Then, because the profit share was computed by removing material costs, COGS, and depreciation, which is 1.5 and 1 million, right? COGS was 1 million. COGS should have been 1 million. Right? That's what we charge. Okay? So you have here depreciation, equipment, and COGS, which is the same amount. So COGS now is 1 million, right?
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And depreciation of equipment is 1,500,000. Okay, so it must be the same on debit credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 million.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, okay, I see.
Total, we must bill them 3 million.
3. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Okay, so 3 million minus 2.5 million gives us 500,000, which was the original profit share.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
There you go. You understand now?
Yeah, I understand. Maybe I understand what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is to give you an overview of our relationship with them. Of course, there are many other expenses, rental, etc. Right? So the important thing is to understand this amount, because this is how much you will bill. This is how much you will bill to FP. Then FP will then have to pay us the full amount, 3 million.
Để tính giá đúng không? Để tính cái sau xuất hóa đơn.
Đâu gì đâu. Bill eo gì. Đúng rồi, bill.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't disturb you anymore. This is just to give you, I will feed you with a little bit of information at a time. Because the information I'm choosing to give you will tell you why you are doing different parts of the account.
Yeah.
Rather than doing it like a robot, you now understand why we need to.
Yeah.
So you need to know cash book because, like what I said, you need to know material cost. Where is it coming from? Where are the expenses coming from?
Yeah.
Who is spending the money and buying the materials? Correct.
Yeah.
That's why you need a cash book.
Yeah.
Right? You need to know who's paying rental, who's paying everything, because the auditor will want to know. Now, to confuse you, don't play with that. Vietnamese companies don't have the cash book, so they just take uncle, auntie, grandfather, grandmother, buy material, go straight into P&L.
Yeah.
You know, and they have a raw number there, so they don't know. They see the receipt, they don't know from who.
Yeah.
Who's spending what and what products did they buy. No control.
Yeah.
So the cash book gives you that control. Right?
Yeah.
Now, payable and receivables is merely a record of who you need to pay and who you need to collect money from. That's all.
Yeah.
That gives you a balance of how much money you have in the bank, in petty cash, in wherever. Because you also keep an account of where the money is.
Mấy cái này nè.
Right?
Bên thư giải.
But does that give you a better idea?
Yeah.
Is it easier for you to
Yeah.
now know why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Because it's terrible to do things without knowing why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I am going to show you why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any questions that Mr. Loh has? Because that's all he's covering with you, no? We haven't even gone balance sheet yet.
Yeah.
He haven't touched balance sheet. This part you have to understand before I leave. If you don't understand, in fact I told you, right?
Yeah.
By Friday when I leave, you already understand this. Today is Tuesday, you understand already.
Yeah.
So you believe? I told you you will understand this by now.
Yeah.
Because P&L is easy, it's just a collecting. So I promised her that what she was confused about when I came on Thursday, by last Thursday, is that by this week you will understand the documentation, correct?
Yeah.
So you now need to tell me which part you don't understand.
Do you have any questions for him? Like,
Because your other questions like, hey, these numbers don't add up. You're absolutely right. That's why I'm going to bring this home tonight and bring my calculator and I have to check
Yeah.
and give you the correct numbers.
Yeah. Chị em muốn hỏi là cái petty cash này nó có mấy cái khoản nhỏ nhỏ thì mình bóc cái phần material ra riêng, còn những cái khoản nhỏ nhỏ đó thì mình để vô từng cái loại chi phí riêng hả? Hiểu em?
material.
Có nghĩa là cái petty cash này là chị có mua material nhỏ nhỏ chút đúng không? Xong chị còn để chia trả những cái mà nó
Bự.
không, nó nhỏ luôn, nó nhỏ nhưng mà nó lại không có đưa vô chi phí, ý là em không biết đưa
Không phải
vô
là
cái
materials mà nó là những cái khác,
cái chi phí khác nhưng mà nó lại không có trong
bút
cái
về đồ này, bút viết đồ,
thì ý là nhiều khi em không có biết là phân bổ vô đâu trong cái expense của năm đó, hiểu em không? Giống như là cái nào material đi, cái nào văn phòng phẩm đi thì nó dễ rồi.
Okay, so she asked about the petty cash. Now I'm the one keep the petty cash, and then I will pay for not just the materials, but sometimes I use it to pay for like the electronic main, like for the aircon.
That's why when she makes a claim, she makes a claim, it must be under the correct heading. When I make a claim, okay, when Philip Khoo, what do you call expense claim, what expense ER, expense what report? Okay, Philip Khoo's ER. When I send you my expense claim, you saw my expense claim, right? PK's ER. I have sheet 1 travel expense.
Yeah.
Let's say for the month of May, right? Sheet 2, material expense, Vietnam. Then material expense, this sheet 3 already, Singapore, because sometimes I bring from Singapore. Then I will have sheet 4, transport, correct? Which is in Dong. Then whatever, maybe, I don't know, sheet 5, etc. Same thing with her. When she submits a report for you, it's not called ER, it's called Snowy's. I don't know what you call it, Snowy's, like petty cash report. Petty cash report. She also, for the month of May, she has supposed to be a balance of 10 million, let's say, hypothetically.
Yeah, opening balance.
Opening balance, right? Of 10 million. But she needs to make the claim. On sheet 1, same materials.
Yeah.
Sheet 2, plumber, electrician,
Yeah.
or whoever she pays to, I don't know what she does, right? Sheet 3, transport, because sometimes she has to travel around, okay, etc. Sheet 4, etc., etc., etc. So she has to give you this breakdown also, so that you can post it in the, no, even if you haven't started, never mind. We will still make you, or she can do it, and go back to all your claims and start allocating. Actually, Mr. Low has done it, but he's not done it correctly. Correct?
Yeah.
He hasn't even added correctly. So, everyone who submits an ER, anyone who submits, you're the only one who submit a PC request, PC report, must break it down to the columns, to the lines that you and the directors have agreed. Meaning, your expenses cannot fall under purchase of the moon, because the moon is not material for production. So if you bought the moon, there's no category for you to put. You therefore need to answer to her. She needs to say, I got no category for moon. You buy it for what? Is it for materials? Is it for travel? Is it for rental?
For eating.
Or for eating? Understand?
Yeah.
So, I'm just being facetious. That's what I'm talking about. So, she can buy anything. She can buy mooncake and say that it is under material. You have the right to say, hello Snowy, you buy mooncake, material, what is going on here? You are an accountant, you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
But if she puts mooncake as gift, to staff, then you know it's an expense under that. So we have a thing called miscellaneous. Then miscellaneous happens only once a year. Then you put on there miscellaneous staff gift.
Stuff.
2 million under
Marketing expense.
No. Marketing expense. Okay, we got no marketing expense.
Mr. Philip, sometime I bought the plastic box for the box factory, and last time you asked me to write down that it is for food people to
That's right.
pay.
So even you have seen some of my claims. It is not for our books. It is for food people to pay me. Food people must pay me, not food developer. So I buy those covers. Food people must pay me. Okay? So you don't put in your books, no? You don't put into your food developer P&L. You take this claim and you give it back to Mr. Low and say, I think this is for food people. In future, you are going to look after 2 accounts.
Yeah.
But it's easy. Once you get this thing ready, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's just the system. Are you feeling better now that it's not so difficult? I know last week you looked like you're going to cry half the time.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult, right?
Yeah.
The frustration is if the numbers are given you, they don't add up. It's not your fault, So don't get frustrated, don't get irritated. Just come back and say the numbers don't add up. Mr. Low, you want to add up properly? Or you need help for me to add for you?
Yeah.
But your numbers are not right. So let me correct for you and I give it back to you and can you sign and say that this is the correct? Because you are the one just recording.
Yeah.
If you have any question, maybe Philip Khoo put on there 3 million transport, from hotel to office. 3 million dong. You have the right to say,
He was
Philip,
cheated.
no, Philip, is this a mistake or did you take a rocket ship? Did you fly an aeroplane here? Because I don't think the taxi fare from hotel to Bentan to District 2 is 3 million.
Yeah.
You have the right. If I don't give you the right to do that, how can you operate? Because you are the one who's putting your name and putting a number inside. She's not my accountant. So if I put $3 million, you know what she have to do? Then go home and tell her husband who knows me, when I think Mr. Philip is mad, I think he don't know why he spent $3 million.
No, I should. I will talk to my husband that
But-
you were cheated.
Yeah, see, that's all she can do. She cannot challenge me because she is not the accountant. The accountant got a lot of power. In the area of accounting for money, you are the most powerful. You're more powerful than me.
Yeah.
You know why? I can still turn around, I'm your boss, and still say, why did you record it wrongly?
Yeah.
Then what are you going to say? I can say, excuse me, the number I put for materials is affecting my profit share. How come? The number you put there and the number I calculate here is not the same. What happened to the petty cash expense for material? So if you are scared and you don't put and you use Mr. Low's number, whose fault is it? Then you say, oh, Mr. Low, give me a number. I'll go Mr. Low. This stupid Mr. Low. Are you trying to cheat me? We're partners. Are you trying to cheat me? How come you didn't put your material? How come you didn't reflect my full material cost? You know what he'll say? He says, oh, probably additional error. You mean your accountant didn't check? So back down to whose fault? You. So if you don't check now, if you don't check us, it becomes your fault.
Yeah.
Okay, not going to happen like that. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
Stop.
You refer the new staff.
No. This is the profession. This profession, you can go to jail,
Yeah.
You choose a profession, you screw up by mistake, you can also go to jail, no? This one, doing this kind of work, she cannot go to jail unless she steal money. You don't even need to steal money. You just do it wrongly, you also can go to jail. You submit the accounts wrong
Yeah.
because you are an account grad. Eventually, you'll be a certified accountant. You sign that, you're in trouble. So, I'm just waking you up to reality. You chose to be an accountant. I didn't tell you to be an accountant. Any company you go, unless you work in a bank and then you're an accountant, you call yourself an accountant. Wow. Because I called my friend, who is the CEO of FedEx, and I asked him, because I also want to check whether there's such thing as cash book. Because you told me you don't have. And he says, actually we don't care because I have a lot of accountants with accounting degrees, but when they come in, we brainwash all of them and say, no, you follow our system. We just give you, each person do one small area. Actually, they're bookkeepers, but we call them accountants. Right? So they are, unless you want to work for that kind of company, you go and study 4 years to be an accountant. Down here, every day for the next 30 years, you work for FedEx, you only do accounts receivable. That's it. Get paid good money. Work 9 to 5 doing rubbish. You never do the full books. That's why I'm saying you are more lucky than you know. At the moment, you don't know you're lucky. At your age, to come out and be allowed to look after a company's full set of accounts, it's like I'm hiring her first day out of school and making her general manager of this company. It's the same thing. What is the opportunity? So don't screw it up. Don't waste the opportunity. Right? You also don't waste your opportunity. You're also given a fantastic opportunity. The last company you work for only let you tutor their students in English.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Got a very high salary.
Yes. She's so stupid like that thing, huh? But now she's paying to learn. She's paying me to teach her. Right? Is it worth it?
So Mr. Philip, about the fee that is supposed to pay by the food people, like some fee like the plastic box, and then they will pay them back. Okay.
You're confusing me as usual.
Okay. So that the plastic box that
Yes.
that is supposed to pay by.
Actually, the reason why
people.
I created this accounts this way, the sharing of costs, is because now R&D, testing, everything is all irrelevant, right? Because they all come under production costs, material costs. So, for example,
So I mean that if it's supposed to pay by food people, so they will pay by what by transaction or by cash or by something. So
that
will
one-
they pay us or not?
that one you see we still haven't figured out. Maybe, for example, the covers I bought for them.
What I mean.
For example, the
Yeah.
covers I bought for them,
Yeah.
that will still come under the marketing cost, equipment cost, right? So they might expense that out, or they will pay me from their own account. I don't know, but they might include that in the computation of the profit share.
Because like every month I bet 1.3 million for the boxes.
Yeah, it's no difference because whatever you're paying, we are throwing back. Whether it's the same amount of money, whether that money is being thrown from our side or from their side, right? It's still expensed by the company. So the net profit then is divided by 2.
So when we merge two money to one,
So for
it will be easier.
the plastic box, what is that called? Plastic box is not called container. Plastic box comes under materials, COGS. COGS we're already claiming. Am I right? Because you must understand, the total production cost, box, food, right, is thrown into shared costs.
Share cost.
Okay, because this is the revenue, this is FB, this is FP, marketing, whatever thing that they spend, right, is going to be thrown back in here.
Okay.
So if it's under,
Okay.
that is why I came up with this system. Because I told you, if I were to ask you all the time to keep records of every unit of puff for testing, for sampling, for throwing away, you think you will go mad?
But we are doing this.
But it's not accurate. Your numbers and her numbers never gel. Do you know? You know, right?
Yeah, I know.
They never match.
But currently it's matched. Before it doesn't match, but now it's matched already.
So, does it take effort to do that?
Yes.
Do you still want to do that? I can undo this. Make you work harder, you want?
Don't want.
Then, ask so many questions.
I hate doing that.
Exactly. And what is my job? Let's revisit. What is my job again?
Make my life easier.
She's so clever, you know. She's the cleverest person I've ever worked with. Exactly. That's my job, right? To make your life easier.
Yes.
So, is this making your life easier? Yes.
But now I'm still doing this.
Yes, because we haven't started that. She only just came in. Before that, you want me to change all this to let Mr. Low look after? We all die. We will all die. We can't even add the number together properly. Right? So, I've done this whole formula 4 months ago. Mr. Low, I've been asking for numbers and for 4 months. Every week I call him, I say we meet, and yeah. Only when I force him, I twist his arm until he got to set his this thing, because she didn't give him the numbers, you know. Because I said very, very simple. I will not invest one more red cent in this company until I have a proper book, until proper books. I come from a corporate like if I was CEO of a big company, I work purely on books, on numbers. I'm not the guy who sits down there and does everything. I'm not. I sit at the top, far away from all of this noise, making decisions whether to keep this business running or to close it. Right? So the only thing I can depend on are my numbers, my accounts. I cannot. It's not that I don't know how to. Obviously, I can. If I can come up with this, I know how to. But that means I will forever be running a small little company, limited by the number of hours I'm awake. So I hire smart people like you all to execute my systems, to execute my ideas. If I'm the cook, for example, and I don't hire all these smart people to run all my products, how many puffs do you think I can make a day? RTE, dessert. I know how to make all of them, but how many can I make? The only way I can expand the business is if I find people, teach them how to do it and let them do it, and I make life easier for them. I remove obstacles. That's my job. To remove obstacles. That's what I'm talking to you about. Because what is blocking you from understanding what you are doing is you don't know why you are doing it. So my job, for this instance, is removing that blank area that you don't understand by educating you. I'm sure by now you have a much better idea how the business works. Until half an hour ago, you still don't know how the business works. You still don't know where the revenue is coming from. You still don't know how we are accounting for all of this. I hope by now you know. It's a very easy explanation. Mr. Low should have gone through all of this, and I know he won't. So I told him, you do whatever you want to do with her first. When you leave, I will talk to her. And I will untangle all the knots you always tie. He does the same thing with poor Tina, so now I got to go and untie Tina's knots. So I'm very, I'm okay, because I know after this you definitely understand. You definitely, right? This is no more great. Even you understand better now, right? Why we do all this. Okay, because you are now being told from a management standpoint why we require certain things. Suddenly it's worth your while. If I don't explain to my staff why I boil the vegetables, and then they decide, why bother you microwave, then they just take raw vegetables to put in. If I didn't tell them the reason for it, then if they do it, I can't scold them. Right? Because it's true, the microwave also the thing that we cook. But I must explain to them, we boil it so that it doesn't spoil the rest of the food. So now they agree and they will do it. Okay, so now you go back, do your things. Tomorrow I will go through all this crazy. My only problem is back in the hotel, the light is so dim and my eyes is no good, so I get a headache after 10 minutes. Because the light, they make in a hotel room, they want to make it dim so that it's comfortable. But then my eyes are so bad, I after 10 minutes,
So do you want to install the real light
down here
in our room?
No, it's alright. I can open the window, but when I go back to the hotel, there's no light. At night, really. But I will do it. I will sit in the toilet and do it. Toilet, the light is very bright.
Okay.
Okay, let's go downstairs and
Okay.
deal with them.
Yes. Còn cái tiền em để chuyển qua cho anh hả? Ủa mà anh có hóa đơn đỏ được không? Ý là không, ý em
Materials,
là
right?
cái người cái đơn vị mà có hóa đơn đỏ là ai?
Only 3 people will pay money for materials.
Bên nào là bên số
Okay,
hóa đơn đỏ
so
sẽ là người trả
not
tiền.
everybody you will not buy raw materials, right?
Dạ.
Right?
Dạ, và em vẫn
Only Snowy buys raw materials.
Dạ.
I buy raw materials. And when Snowy buys raw materials, she will pay either through petty cash. This is Snowy, right?
Yeah.
We can pay through our Shinhan bank account. This is Philip, right? Because I approved the thing. Then we can pay also by claims.